Can I get a drum roll, please, for the best drone ever, period. And this is the Mavic 2. That is right, DJI held their very own keynote today called See the Bigger Picture, and you are for sure seeing the bigger picture with these drones because they are absolutely amazing. The funny thing about the Mavic 2 is that we kind of seen it before, and not just in like the normal rumored leaks that publish online, like a Russian gets a hold of the Pixel 3 and just posts a video of it unboxing. Nothing like those secretive leaks. Instead, we get a full-on ad in a newspaper in the United Kingdom explaining all of the Mavic 2's newest features. Yes, still today, there's still some surprises that I have to get to. If you're wondering how that ad got in that newspaper, that Argos newspaper, well, it's because DJI was supposed to release the Mavic 2 last month. They instead delayed the announcement until this morning, probably because of manufacturing issues, but because DJI delayed the event, they still didn't pull out the ad from the newspaper, and voila, the ad was published. What the newspaper didn't give to us was the prices, and I knew this thing was going to cost over $1,000, over $1,100 at the very least, because that's where the Mavic Pro Platinum starts. And that theory turns out to be correct because now there's two Mavic 2 models, and the cheapest one is $1,250 and the other one is $1,500. The Mavic 2 price is definitely going to hinder away some beginner piloters that are kind of interested in the drone market. They're probably going to still go to the DJI Spark, which is an absolutely amazing drone. Just check out my review right here. But for the price, you are getting a lot in a drone, and I mean a lot. Before I talk about all the amazing things about the Mavic 2, there's just one flaw. And that one subtle flaw is that this thing still charges with micro USB and not USB-C. The DJI is still in the past, in like 2015, using micro USB and not USB-C. But getting right into the Mavic 2, because a lot changes in 2 years. And in those 2 years, we went from the Mavic Pro just having front-facing sensors and bottom-facing sensors to the Mavic 2 having surrounding sensors on all sides. All these sensors are going to allow for DJI's Advanced Pilot Assistance System. Hopefully I got that correct. Let's say there's going to be a fence right here and then a drone's piloting along. And when it approaches that fence, if you have the software feature turned on, it's going to turn up and just keep on going. And that's what that pilot assistant system is going to do. And along with all these new sensors, there is a ton of brand new software with the Mavic 2. I'll get to some of these features in a second, but one of them is Active Track 2.0. Active Track 2.0 is more on the software side than a hardware side, but it looks like this is just going to be a software specific to the Mavic 2, and just Active Track 2.0 is going to allow the software to pinpoint where the person is going in case the person or object goes behind another object. And I'm just showing you this easy illustration with a car going behind a mountain and then coming outside the other side of the mountain. It's pretty simple in video, not in words. With all these brand new sensors on all sides of the Mavic 2 and the APAS, you are not going to crash this drone. And with all these quick shots, you're going to become an expert if you were a beginner in no time with the Mavic 2. The only thing that's not beginner friendly about this drone is the price, but these features are so good. Both the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro can go up to 44.7 miles per hour, which is a lot. I mean, it's a good amount faster than the DJI Spark, which it could only go 30 miles per hour. The two models of the Mavic 2 have OcuSync 2.0, which is DJI's special radio technology frequency, which is going to allow for the drones to go 5.8 miles away. And when you compare that to the Spark can only do 1.2 miles. So that's almost a 5 times on that Spark's range. And even when you're 3, 4, 5 miles out with the Mavic 2, you're still going to get that 1080p transmission quality back on your phone. So you could crisply see that footage. And DJI kind of made a couple low-key changes to the controller, which just adds so much more functionality to it. First of all, with the controller, you can now take off the joysticks. This is from the Mavic Air, if you've heard this feature before. And now with the controller, if your phone is below 40%, the controller is going to charge your phone, which I think is an amazing feature, because sometimes my phone's been on like 10, 20 and I'm worrying about flying, because what if my phone dies mid-flight? I'm not gonna fly it back that easily. So now you're not gonna have to worry about your phone dying on the flight, and especially because of the amazing, huge, massive controller battery. Even without this battery spec bump, I think the Sparks controller, just from my personal experience, that battery life is still much better than the drone itself. It's probably like 10 times better. So if DJI is increasing the battery life on the controller, that's mind-blowing. And talking about the battery life of the controller, the Mavic 2 Zoom and Pro, of course, most of these features account for both. Those two drones are gonna have a flight time of 31 minutes, which is almost 3 times the amount of flight time that my DJI Spark could get, which is around 12-13 minutes. 31 minutes, that's plenty. And if you buy that second battery, you could equate that to an hour of flight time. You could get so much footage with that. And with that 31 minutes of flight time, another brand new exclusive software feature to the Mavic 2 is hyperlapse, and that's going to allow the drone to slowly pan over the landscape and have the camera focus on one point and to get a very, very nice time lapse. And that hyperlapse is either going to be recorded in 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60. Sadly, it looks like 4K at 60 frames per second is going to be saved for the Phantom series, which makes sense. All this video, I've said the features that are both for the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro. But if you remember what I said in the beginning of the video, the Mavic 2 Pro is $250 more than the Mavic 2 Zoom. And the question for that is why? Well, the Mavic 2 Pro has a 1-inch Hasselblad camera, which is going to allow for high dynamic range, a ton of colors, and the overall cinematography experience for traveling is going to be super high quality and high definition. The lens actually has a variable aperture, kind of like the Samsung S9 and Note 9. It can close down to an aperture of 2.8 in low light scenarios, and let me just say the low light in this camera is going to be much better than previous drones. And when it's a ton of sunlight out, that variable aperture can open up to 11.0. It's really cool seeing this. If you really care about the quality of the image you're getting, you really want the Mavic 2 Pro. But if you want more functionality and more like playing around with what you want with the image, you probably want the Zoom. And of course, you guessed it, the Mavic 2 Zoom is called Zoom because it's going to optically zoom 2 times or 4 times digitally. This sensor, sadly, isn't the 1-inch Hasselblad sensor on the Mavic 2 Pro. I mean, man, that would be even better. But that 1/2 camera sensor is still going to allow you to go from 24 millimeters, which is a pretty wide field of view, to 48 optically, and then further that for 4 times digital zoom. I've already said this. But that whole zoom feature in the drone adds for this whole dolly zoom effect, this whole parallax. That easy weird effect that you could do by zooming in and going away from it, that's a super cool feature. It looks super cool in the video. You can easily do that dolly zoom with an exclusive software feature for the Zoom, and that's just gonna be by the way of a quick shot. And I thought this was important to mention because people are acting like this zoom feature is like the first ever thing in a drone. Well, the Perry Anafi, which was actually released like 2 months ago, has had this digital zoom feature already. DJI actually tweeted today that it's the first ever commercial drone that could zoom in optically. Well, that's a little bit of an iffy statement right there because of the Perry Anafi. And we can now breathe because that's the end of all the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro's features. This is just an insane drone. It is going to cost a good amount, $1,250 and $1,500, but I'm looking for like a type of drone that I could upgrade from the DJI Spark, and this is definitely it. The zoom feature is actually useful. I want to get my hands on the hyperlapse, the 31-minute flight time, the controller charging your phone, the controller that you could take off the joysticks. Now let's not forget, you could fly the Mavic 2 5.8 miles away and it will still have a 1080p connection to the controller. The Mavic 2, even in the rumor phase, I thought it was the perfect drone, and I still think it is the perfect drone. If you're going to get a drone, try to get the Mavic 2 Zoom or the Mavic 2 Pro. But I'll love your opinion about the Mavic 2 in the comment section below. Thank you to all my subscribers for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.